First day in the office, internet dreams collide. Season 3 got me buzzing, Comcast worldwide. I'm an intern, baby, learn the ropes today. Season 3 is crazy, internet's my way.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season 3 of the Internet Podcast, a podcast made by Comcast interns about interns. I'm Isabella Yu, a university relations intern working in person at the Battery office in Atlanta for this summer 2024. This season, we will be sharing our internship experiences as Gen Z interns. Our point of view. We could not be more excited to have you all tuning in and joining us.
I'm an intern, baby, learn the ropes today. Season 3 is crazy, internet's my...
Let's get started and meet our hosts.
My name is Perri Eason,
My name is Zaire.
and we are so excited to be your host this summer and dive into the impact that our generation brings into the workplace.
Today's episode is going to be all about our Comcast family, who we are, what we do, and how we all have our own point of view. For this week's episode, we will have a ton of different point of views. So let's dive right in.
First, let's start with a little Comcast crash course. What many people don't realize is that the Comcast family is bigger than anyone expects. NBC Universal, Universal Studios, Sky, Illumination, Telemundo, Xfinity, and many more are all under the Comcast umbrella.
Welcome back to Comcast in Your Community, a segment devoted to sharing important updates and promising insight into how Comcast impacts people on a deeper level. So what is Comcast doing today? Well, if you haven't already heard, Comcast launched Now TV Latino, a streaming service that includes a ton of Spanish-speaking channels and media. For example, customers can access movies and TV shows in Spanish, live news, Peacock Premium, and so much more. The regional senior vice president for Comcast Florida says that Comcast is working every day to make sure Spanish-speaking households can stream all their favorite programs.
It's really cool to think about how us interns and Jimmy Fallon work under the same big roof.
It is crazy to think about how there truly is so much opportunity within this corporate family. The best part is that we get to hear from people all over the business and across different brands. You really never know who your next mentor, coworker, or friend may be.
That's so true, Zaire, especially within Comcast. Comcast itself is made up of 4 divisions, including headquarters, or we sometimes refer to it as HQ, Central, West, and Northeast. We are obviously Central Division interns, but we are also so split up into all the different regions that we support. These regions include Florida, Heartland, Chicago, and Big South regions. For instance, Zaire and I are both interns supporting the Big South region from Comcast Central Division.
Breaking the company up regionally is just easier for our business. Since our consumer base is so wide, we need to be able to tailor our initiatives to their specific needs and demographics. That's why on this episode today, we are so excited to give you a deep dive into the point of views of our region's best.
As we chatted about before, we have a lot of awesome interns in the Central Division regions. Today, we have Maddie, Ella, and Kaelyn, who are in the Florida, Heartland, and Chicago regions. How are you all doing? And please introduce yourselves. We're so excited to have you.
Hi, my name is Madison Propper, and I go to the University of Florida. I'm a sales and marketing intern here working in the Florida region.
My name is Famariss. I go to Indiana University, and I'm a business services intern working in the Heartland region.
Hi, I'm Kaelyn Deacon. I also go to Indiana University, and I'm a sales and marketing intern in the greater Chicago region.
So all of you guys were here at Division for orientation and have now left back to your regional offices. What do you all think is the biggest difference between being at Division versus being in a region?
I'd say the biggest difference for me was the focus of regional versus divisional offices. So, division is focused on larger companies with more employees because they have different needs than maybe a small to medium business needs. So, with my role this summer, I've been really able to focus with my manager and my team on the small to medium business and how we can help them optimize their business with our products. And it's been really neat because I've been able to visit these smaller towns that I didn't even know existed before and honestly bring them internet. So the regional office gets to focus on the towns that maybe aren't on division's radar. And we need both because that's how we cover everybody and that's how Comcast stay helping people.
I really do feel the same way. I think one of the biggest differences between the two is kind of the level of interaction we have with customers. In the Florida region, we have way more of a local focus regarding kind of our marketing and our strategy. We also go to events throughout the community. We work with local chambers of commerce and do a ton more stuff. Kind of from my point of view, I feel like Division looks at things more holistically, whereas we're kind of more focused on the Floridians and how we can correlate the corporate initiatives to our customer base.
Did you know that Comcast's office in Florida is right next to iHeartRadio? If you didn't already know, Comcast is one of the world's leading corporations for telecommunications. So it's pretty cool that Comcast has an office so close to the #1 audio company in the United States. In fact, there have even been celebrity sightings around the Florida office, including Shakira.
I think that's really cool that you all get to work on a more local level. I honestly love that you guys get to do that. But of course, there's definitely a shift between working in different offices. That kind of segues into my next question. How do you guys collaborate with people in other regions or different divisions?
Yeah, in the Chicago region, we have a bunch of different bi-weekly or bi-monthly check-ins with different offices to see how they're doing. It's always interesting to get a different perspective on projects and especially working through the competitive side in the marketing department.
Yeah, and to piggyback off of that, I think that being in a region, it's even more important to, stay constantly communicating, collaborating with all of the other interns that we obviously don't get to necessarily see every day. So it was really great to meet all of the other interns at orientation. And Kaylin, Ella, and I actually connected super early on in the airport when we were flying in for orientation. So the three of us and another intern in the Florida region, have a little group chat on Teams that we like to talk about some of our projects and stuff like that. And so it's been a really great to kind of work in the committees that the university relations team sets up for us, just like the podcast committee. Jordan and I have a call every week to kind of outline some of these episodes. So it's always super fun to interact with all the other interns.
Yeah, just to piggyback off of that whole, spill, I just honestly feel like, collaborating with different people across regions just absolutely amazing just because you get a real perspective on, different parts of the business and regions that you really don't see on a day-to-day basis. And it also helps, working on cross-functional projects as well, because now you're building that relationship to connect with people in every aspect of the business. And, I feel like that's really key. But
So for me this summer, I've been really focused on small to medium business direct sales. And so what that has meant for me is I get to go out with sales reps in the Indianapolis area and even these tiny towns. And we do this thing called we knock doors. So maybe not literally, but we get to set up meetings with local businesses and either pitch Comcast business products or visit with existing customers and meet with them to see how we can optimize their business with our new products. So maybe not specific projects, but I've been able to help prospect for potential customers. So I get to do research and learn about the needs of small to medium businesses in the Indianapolis area. And then in the coming weeks, I get to focus on shadowing the enterprise side of Comcast business. So that means schools, government entities, and even just larger businesses that might not be classified as small to medium business. And then, kind of exciting, I get to cold call soon. So that's a little bit daunting, but I'm super excited because I get real experience with what it's like to work in direct sales for Comcast Business.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Ella. A lot of the projects that I'm working on are more hyper local events and initiatives in like the hotspots with larger competition. I do competitive insights, so I'm working on back to school tactics for universities and public schools in the Chicago area, and also a competitive tracker on the hyper local hotspots. I also help with any competitive needs that the marketing team needs.
It's really interesting that you're getting to do that. I also have had a similar experience with doing a poll attachment agreement tracker. So I know that the work we're doing is different, but I'm happy that we're kind of working on similar things. And it's cool to connect with you and hear the different work that we're both doing. So, of course, we're all working really hard on all of our projects and our tasks, but I know that there are some struggles that we face as well. At Division, we sometimes feel a bit overwhelmed with the work that we're doing. But what are some of your guys' struggles working in the regions?
Well, something that the Florida region actually struggled with, like specifically in my office, that might sound kind of silly and funny at first, was actually the weather. Obviously, Florida summers are beautiful, but last week we had 3 days of nonstop rain and like horrible flooding. So they didn't even want any of us driving into the office. And it really hindered our sales team and our field sales and them being able to go out and, knock on doors. So these 3 days actually made us fall behind Big South and some of the opportunities that we had converted. And it's something that's super unique to Florida right now, obviously in the summer, but I'm sure it happens to a ton of the different regions in the colder months as well.
So I guess I wouldn't necessarily call this a struggle, more an adjustment. So I am the only intern in my office. And I think I'm their first intern, which is crazy. So it's been really interesting and honestly a really fun time interacting with people who are a couple years my senior and just learning all about their path to Comcast and learning their wisdom. It's been really neat because I have been able to shadow sales reps with, tons of experience, tons of time here at Comcast, and also people who are, newer to the field. And that's been super valuable. Just kind of gaining insight from that and observing how they go day to day and what they do in their jobs. And my boss is located out of Michigan, so that's definitely been a test about communication. And it's been honestly a great learning experience because it's pushing me to be proactive and reach out to my manager and let him know all the things that I've been up to this summer.
It's great to hear that we are all able to supersede these challenges and still have an amazing summer. Thank you guys for sharing what it's like to be in the regions, whether you are working in a region or at a division this summer. The welcoming atmosphere of Comcast is something that is everywhere. We are truly one big fam, and all of the different point of views from each employee is what brings us together.
I completely agree with you, Zaire. And I want to thank each of you for coming on the podcast today. Now, we are going to get into our favorite segment of the episode, Behind the Desk, where the other interns really spill the tea about their experiences thus far.
Today, we first asked the interns, if you weren't working in your region or division, what location would you choose and why? Kennedy, Isabella, and Cameron all said they would want to work in the Florida office. Definitely makes sense. Who wouldn't want to work right by the beach?
I completely agree. I would love to see the beautiful blue waters on my way to the office every morning. So we also asked interns what their favorite thing about their office is and something niche that their office does. Madison said that every time someone has a birthday, their desk is always covered in balloons and decorations, and you can always find their group of office friends catering lunch for them. That is so much fun. And Kennedy also said that at the Battery office, everyone watches the weekday Braves games from the 9th floor.
Everyone really does have such great point of views every week. And that brings us to the end of another week of the Intern Podcast.
A big thank you to all of our Central Division interns, the University Relations team, and all of our guests for making today's episode a success. If you want to dive deep and create the future with us, please don't forget to apply this fall for a summer internship. Applications open in September, and we're looking forward to hearing from all of you.
Stay tuned for the next episode and all season long, as we'll always be keeping it real and bring you our point of view. See you next week.
Thank you all so much for listening to this week's episode of the Internet Podcast. This episode was brought to you by the Intern Podcast Committee, with support from the incredible University Relations team in the Central Division. Special thanks to Janda Anderson, Ernesto Sosa, Lindsay Seals, and Andres Cardoso for making our experiences as Comcast interns unforgettable. Past seasons of the Internet Podcast are now available and streaming on your favorite services, so feel free to check them out. Listen to previous seasons wherever you listen to your podcasts, and stay tuned for the next episode of Season 3.